All right, welcome back to Jonesycast. I'm Jonesy, and this is the cast. Hey, basically, what I do is go through subreddits like Ask Men, relationship advice, dating advice, etc., and do video replies. Please like and subscribe if you would like to subscribe. If you don't want to like and subscribe, then don't like and nah. Hey, we're on Ask Men, posted by user winter-tangelo9656 12 minutes ago. What do you think is the difference between a man and a boy? Well, the problem is that they're very subjective. Very subjective. I've seen a couple of people in the comments. There's 10 comments already. Puberty, maturity, experiences in your CV, 18 years old, pubes, brain development, maturity. I would agree with the last ones. I mean... A boy is someone who is living in the Garden of Eden. Hopefully. Like, the ideal place for a child to grow up is in the Garden of Eden, because it is before you leave the garden that everything is provided for you. Everything is a paradise. Everything is kind of Eden, you know. And then you grow up and become a man, and you realize that you have to take responsibility. You have to work hard. You have to fight worthy battles and leave some fights alone, right? I mean, I am very influenced by Jordan Peterson on this matter, in that the difference for me between a boy and a man is someone who will take responsibility for that which they can. It is also true that... look, there are some things you can't change, but you have to change the things that you can. The other thing, like, the reason I mentioned Peterson is because he talks about the definition of meek, right? So in the Bible, it talks about the fact, and I'm an atheist, but let's go to the old histories anyway. In the Bible, it talks about the fact that the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, people see meek as mild and weak, right? But the word, when translated, actually means bridled strength, or those who have a sword and know how to use it but keep it sheathed, right? There's a very important distinction there. Someone who knows how to use a sword, someone who can enact violence, someone who can handle themselves, someone who can defend themselves and their family, someone who's capable but doesn't. They only do it when necessary, which is why in most jurisdictions in the Western world, the use of force is allowed to protect the safety of yourself, even the person attacking you, and the general public. But it must be minimal and necessary to effect, right? Either the arrest or the incapacitation of someone. So the difference between a boy and a man is not only responsibility, but a boy can enact violence, and many do on their mothers, much less do on their fathers, but that does happen too. A boy can enact violence, but a man understands that he should not, unless it is genuinely called for, right? So, I mean, I have many issues with the way that today in society we expect men to be, right? I mean, if you want to talk about sex, it's okay for a man to want sex and to admit that he wants sex and to have a sexual lens through which he looks at women. What is not okay is for a man to put that on the women. So, for example, it's one thing to look at a woman or a man, another human, and think that they are attractive. It's another thing to go up and classify them as only their attractiveness. It's another thing to make them feel uncomfortable because of your desires, right? So, but to deny our sexual nature is that just leads to toxicity. It's one thing that, like, if you look at the Catholic Church, one of the reasons they have such a pedophile priest issue is because they are supposed to deny their sexuality. It's just absurd. Like, why would you do that, right? So, and it's also because they have power and many other things. But one of the main core issues is the denial of the sexual animal within us, right? Another thing that makes a man, I think, is he is comfortable in himself. He understands his past, his present, and his future to the degree that he can. One thing that you get in the Oedipal complex is that women, like mothers who overbaby their sons. I'm just looking at my little puppy now. Hey, little puppy. Women and mothers who overbaby their sons and don't let them become men, they make a deal with their sons, and that son, you can never leave me, but I will do everything for you. To be a man means that you need to do things for yourself. You are capable and you are willing. You don't have to like it, but you must do it, right? I mean, the problem that a lot of men have is that they don't have good male role models. They don't have someone to look at that is a man that is confident, capable, and a little bit dangerous, right? This is the whole thing that women are attracted to. Women are not attracted to harmless men. They're attracted to capable and competent and confident men who handle themselves before they try to handle the world. Like if you want to look at men like Stalin and Hitler and Mao, these men tried to control the world, but they could not control themselves. Like Hitler was on meth, Mao was a sex addict, and Stalin was a power addict. It's just you're dealing with big boys in men's boots, and it's really sad that was allowed to happen. Incredibly competent in some areas of their lives, but they weren't well rounded. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make this video go too long and just splurt off a whole lot of things, but I think a boy doesn't understand responsibility. A man not only understands it, he takes it. He's not afraid to take it because he understands the consequences of what happens if he doesn't. A boy wants to be Peter Pan. A man doesn't, because he understands that Peter Pan is not real and Tinkerbell is not real either, right? This is the difference between watching porn until you're 30, which I did do because I was Peter Pan, and engaging in a healthy sexual relationship with someone else, man or woman. It's the difference that a man is willing to see where his behaviors are wrong, whereas a boy is not. He's petulant. He's disobedient. Not just to his parents, but to the archetype that is necessary to achieve the goals that he will have when he becomes older, right? Puberty is not the maker of a man, just like having a child is not the maker of a father. And it's very disappointing that we are lacking male role models in today's world because we have a whole lot of boys that grew up and they've got hair on their chest and they don't know how to change a car tire. No, they don't understand the practical necessities of the world. You need to understand taxes as a man. You need to understand marriage as a man, not necessarily but the legal consequences. And you learn marriage as you go through. You need to understand that if you are going to be a petulant little boy, you are going to come up against the hard hammer of authority very quick. So it's a better thing to do the best you can, innovate if you can, and to be the best man you can. To take responsibility, to understand your limitations, to push against them in a healthy sense, and don't tempt fate. To treat people with respect. I've dated a lot of women, and I've always tried to treat them with respect because I want to be treated with respect, and I don't want to hurt another woman who then just walks off and finds another guy because that makes her think, my treatment of her makes her think that she's not worth it. It haunts me, right? And I think the best man tries to be the best man he can. He tries to give the world the best man that he can. And it's fucking hard. It's really, really hard. But a man is also someone who understands the finality of life and the imminence of death and tries to make the world a better place while he has time here. That's just me rambling, man. It's a one take, and I hope that this video helps. Good luck.